Right. I'm going to start with something, a very simple question,
I
right?
already had it in my slides.
What is this? How come no one else got that?
What is that? Oh, it's
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
Do you know,
Let me just
right?
blank this out for you, bro.
Yeah, because it's in my
It's in your
face.
face. There we go.
Most of us, glad you got that really quickly, treat this little tube of toothpaste with more reverence and more respect than we do our own lives. Why is that? You're getting every little bit of it out. If anyone grew up as poor as I did, and we grew up poor, we literally would roll it. Who else rolls it? Oh my God, I love that. We roll every little drop of it out. Why do we do that? Why else? Why else? Get the most out of it. Don't want to waste every single drop. Have you ever wondered why we don't do that with our lives? Think about it. Most of us get to the end of our lives with something left to give. I should have done that. I could have done this. Not one of you, even me, Jess, not one of us gets to the end with every little bit of talent, every opportunity, everything we were blessed with, every idea squeezed out. We're saving it. Why are we saving it? What are we saving it for? But we do it, right? So I'm gonna take you on this journey, right? I'm gonna introduce you to a couple of characters. One is called Amy. And I would assert the reason why we don't squeeze everything out of this is Amy. You're probably thinking, who is Amy? Two things, as I've mentioned, Amy and this. Really think about it as I share my journey. So I was born in 1975. Don't guess my age. I know I look young. Black don't crack. I was born in 1975 to Nigerian parents. My dad came to the UK in 1962. I'm going to share a bit about his story. And as I'm sharing, I don't want you to listen just to my story. I want you to understand and listen to your story and see yourself in what I'm saying. Because there's going to be certain themes that come out, one of which is going to be resilience. And I would assert the fact that every single one of you guys are here, you have resilience. Who here has not been through some sort of shit? Anyone not been through some sort of shit? Everyone has, right? I want you to think about that. The shit that you've been through is where your power is. I call that pain juice. So I'll start off with my dad's shit. And I hope you guys don't mind. Well, you've been with Jess, and of course you don't mind me swearing or speaking a certain way. So he grew up in rural Nigeria. He was the only survivor of 8 siblings. And the only reason why he survived was because they took him from his village to a neighboring village. So he grew up in this neighboring village and he went to school. He had no brothers and sisters. His mum and dad weren't with him because his relatives took him. But he had one dream. So in rural Nigeria, which was a British colony at the time, there used to be the odd planes that would fly overhead. It was the 1950s. And when the plane would fly overhead, he would say, one day I'm going to be on the white man's plane and I'm going to London. I'm going to be rich. You know what they did to him at this school? They'd all beat him. Yeah. The students, the teachers. You know why? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You have no mom, no dad. Brothers and sisters are dead. Who are you to dream? And my dad would take those beats, and every strike that he got, it gave him even stronger resolve. I'm going to do that. So he eventually left the village when he was 16. He went to Lagos, worked in Lagos for about 5 years, and eventually came to London. And he found himself in the worst neighborhood of London. Can anyone guess what that is? The worst neighborhood in London in the 1960s. Nope. How the hell did you know that?
I swear I heard you say it last
Ah, you cheated. You should never have said that. He ended up in Notting Hill. Now, Notting Hill was one of the most notorious parts of London. Like, all the immigrants were there. Jews there first, then the Irish, then the Portuguese, then the Afro-Caribbeans, then the Africans, then the Moroccans came. It was the worst neighbor to be in. And in this, his dream was still there. So at the time, everyone was getting council flats. Everyone that knows West London, there's a place called Latimer. They were building a ton of council flats. And everyone in Notting Hill was going to the council flats. And my dad said, no, I'm going to buy this house we're in. He was in this dilapidated, old, semi-detached Victorian. Everyone that knows Notting Hill, you know these big typical houses. And he said, no, I'm going to buy this house. And his friends laughed at him, just like they did when he had this dream of coming to London and being rich. So he bought this house, £12,000. And they all laughed. And as the years went on, Notting Hill went from being one of the worst neighborhoods to becoming one of the most desirable neighborhoods. So the reason as I'm saying this story, I want you to start to think about how you relate to opportunities when other people laugh at you and say it's not possible. And you're the only one that has this dream. What do you do in the face of that? When people don't see your vision, don't see your dream, do you capitulate and just go with the crowd? Or do you follow your own path, knowing that there's a chance that you could fail? So my dad's portfolio then started to increase more and more and more, except we still grew up poor because my dad wasn't necessarily the best in terms of, obviously, you know, he's a landlord, he had all these properties, but he never really maximized it. And he spent a lot of his money on what? He spent a lot of his money on paying for the same kids who used to laugh at him and their kids to send them to education in Africa. It's crazy. He spent so much of that, but he did it for a reason. His thing was all about giving back and making a difference. And I want you to think about that. Everyone here is in business, not just about how much money you can make, but how much you can give back, because I believe that's energetic. What you do for others comes back to you. So I was the youngest of 6 kids. Life for me was tough. We grew up very poor, but I liked it because when you're poor, what does it give you?
Appreciation.
Yeah. Gives you grit, gives you resilience. Doesn't matter what life throws at you because you're already poor. You're already rolling up your toothpaste, as most of you said. Life is not going to be hard. You know, most billionaires and a lot of millionaires were actually self-made. And a lot of people inherit money, don't necessarily keep it. So I don't want you to look at whatever your journey has been to get to this point as, oh, then it's not for me. The fact that you're actually even here, and I know the fact that you're here says a lot about you. You guys are very interested in your growth. You would not be listening to this incredible show if you weren't. You've already won. You've already won at life, the fact that you're sat here. But just think about where you're not squeezing everything out of life, where you're holding something back. Like I said, I'm going to introduce you to Amy. So age 15, I get rushed to hospital. My appendix was about to burst. That went fine. And about 3 days in, I would get given a drug called Stemetil. And this drug caused an ocular giant crisis. Basically, in layman's terms, I was trapped in my body. I couldn't move. They gave me the antidote. And luckily, after about 30 minutes, I came out of this. And I was fine. Except an hour later, I could feel the effects of it coming back. And I was getting trapped again. My biggest fear as a kid was claustrophobia. And it doesn't get more confined in your own body. So I could hear the nurses running around frantically. My mum and dad are frantic. Everyone's frantic. I'm thinking, I'm stuck like this. So they give me another massive dose of this drug, a drug called benzotropin. And luckily, my body came out of it. The physical stuckness, like rigor mortis. Except I was never the same. Everything looked like I was in a dream. I had this weird sensation in the back of my head. And I said to my mum and dad, Mum, Dad, can't you hear that noise? I had 3 distinct conditions. And after that, I was in and out of hospital, test after test, searching for what was going on with me. Nobody knew. So I just had to crack on with life. And I thought to myself, you know what? If it gets really bad, I can always jump off a building. And that's how I lived, literally. Because I had symptoms that nobody could tell me what they were. So I cracked on. And being Nigerian, you have to crack on. You've got to be successful. Went to university, got a degree in advertising. Whilst I was at university, I really wanted to be in music. As a kid, my dream, like my dad's dream, was to come to London and be rich. My dream was to be on Top of the Pops. Very simple dream. And again, just like my dad, the odds of that were impossible. Very, very impossible. Except 2 years into university, we had a massive hit record. It was a remix of Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine. Who here is into UK garage that might know that? There you go. You didn't know I did that record, did you? There you go. Yeah. The Boy Is Mine garage mix, yeah. That was me, yeah. That tune revolutionized UK garage 2 years before Body Groove. And then 2 years after that, we had a massive success with Body Groove. So I was living the best of lives and the worst of lives, because one day I'm on Top of the Pops with the Spice Girls. I achieved the dream. But the next time I'm getting my 10th MRI scan. It was literally up, down, up, down. And the only thing that kept me going was faith. Whether you believe in God, you believe in the universe, but I grew up as a Catholic, and that was just faith. That these bad things were happening for a reason, and somehow there's a lesson. I don't know what it is, but faith. But also, what kept me going was, if it does get bad, I can always jump off a building. And that was my life. So I had a success with Body Groove, all the pop stardom, and all the trappings of fame and all the rest of it. And then in 2008, I DJed at a place called Sugar Hut in Fulham. And it was super loud. By this time, all my symptoms were 10 times worse. The ringing in my ears, which by then I knew what it was, tinnitus, that was the only symptom I knew what it was. The head pressure, which was the worst, I had no idea what it was. And then the dreamlike feeling. All of these things just continually got worse. No matter what I did, it just got worse and worse. So 2008, I DJed. I wake up the next day. My tinnitus has gone from about an 8 out of 10 to about a 25 out of 10. And I finally got to the point of, Tre, you've been saying for a long time that if your health gets bad, you're going to top yourself. You got to find that tall building and go and jump off it. Except, of course, I was never going to do that. Why? Faith. Deep down, I had this sense of there's a reason why I'm going through this. And if my dad could achieve something and go through all the heartache he's gone through, I can too. So I remember by then, 2008, the internet had got a lot better than it was in 1990, hence why I couldn't get answers. And I was Googling, tears streaming down my face. I'm thinking, I'm not getting off there until I find answers. And I found one blog. It was someone, an author called Star Child. To this day, I have no idea who he or she was, but they described my symptoms for the very first time. All these medical professionals couldn't tell me. And she said, every day feels like a dream. And I learned that it was called depersonalization derealization disorder. My God, it had a name. I seen everyone. They thought I was mad, but it had a name. So I started to Google it, and I realized that what this was literally a post-traumatic stress disorder. See, when a human body is under enough stress, what it does is it basically disassociates you from the trauma. So that condition I had is a dissociative trauma condition. Has anyone ever experienced brain fog over here? It's the same thing. What I deal with is basically brain fog. But for me, it was my body or my brain disassociating myself from the pain because it didn't know whether I was going to go into that paralysis again. So many of us have fear running for us. We don't even know it. And that's what led me to Amy. Because no other professional was able to give me answers, I resolved to become pretty much an expert on the brain as much as I could. So I studied and studied and studied and studied it. Go for it.
In all them symptoms,
Yep.
did that all come about through that stomato?
Yeah. It came about from the reaction to it or from the drug. I'll never know. Could be a combination of the two. Yeah. I'm going to come back to that. So I started to learn about the brain. The reason why I did this was this. 2 weeks after discovering what was wrong with me, the worst symptom, the one that made me really want to jump off a building, the head pressure, which by now felt like I was in a vice, disappeared within 2 weeks. I tried every drug under the sun. There was a time I was on TV and I'd been given this drug, which was a muscle relaxant, and it'd eaten up half my face. And I was on TV trying to face that way. It's crazy to be on national TV, living your dream, but you've got this physical representation of your nightmare on your face. Every possible drug I tried until I got that it was a post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's when it hit me how important and strong your mind was and your mindset was. And how you can actually think yourself into unwellness. So 2 weeks after that, the head pressure disappeared. I was never able to get rid of the tinnitus or the derealization. But one thing that changed was this. I was able to change how I related to it. See, so many of us are in circumstances that we can't change. And we're here in the UK. What's the worst thing about the UK? The weather. Is it worth complaining about the weather? No, you can't change it. So you accept it. Acceptance is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mindset. We're in business. You lot are going to be in business. Some of you failed. You've had to come back again. People don't believe in you. Acceptance is one of the biggest keys that you can have on the road to your success. So I learned how the limbic system, that part of our body, is very much responsible for keeping us trapped. And I learned about Amy. Now, the reason why I call her Amy is it's short for the amygdala. Anyone knows what the amygdala is? Yeah? So amygdala is part of your limbic system that's most responsible for your fight or flight. It's a little almond-shaped thing in your brain, and that's when it tells you to run or fight or freeze. And if I freeze, the predator can't see me. And I call it Amy because it's short for the amygdala, Amy G. Dala. Now, I assert that the reason I suffered and why most people suffer is because of Amy. Why? Because Amy is designed to really look for danger. Her only function is to keep you safe. The only function. Hence why I was suffering more and more. Why? Because Amy was saying to me, I don't feel safe, something's going on, which meant all my symptoms got worse, not better. Because what you focus on gets bigger. So the minute I learned about Amy, it unlocked something really important. If Amy is responsible for all of this, that means Amy or the amygdala or that voice in the head, because often how it manifests is run or they're going to laugh at you, or it's going to fail. That's where people's lack of belief in themselves comes from. You're either listening to Amy, you're listening to something greater. She only concerns about survival. That's it. That's her only concern. And the more you listen to it like it's real, the smaller you make yourself, the further away from this you are. The more you listen to something bigger, which I'm going to go into in a moment, infinite possibility opens up. Now, I want you guys just to take a moment, right? 15 seconds, I'll make it short. Just be silent for 15 seconds. Okay, back with me. What did you notice?
Vehicle.
Silence.
But was it silence? It wasn't, was it?
No.
Phrase still moving.
There's a voice still going on. I'm bored of this. Don't like Tre's suit. I'm starving. When am I going to go home? Oh, I don't know about this. That voice is constantly chattering. So if that voice isn't you, whose is it? It's Amy. So if I said to one of you, like, right, come to the front and present. I don't know how good you guys are at speakers, but one of the biggest fears people have is public speaking. Why? Amy, they're going to laugh at you. You can make a fool of yourself. You literally almost go back to being a child again, whatever trauma you've been through. I haven't got what it takes. But Amy permeates every part of your life, every area. You know, it's great that we're talking about fame and stardom because one of people's biggest fears is actually being famous. It was mine for ages. It's funny, I did Body Groove, but what I liked about Body Groove, if anyone's ever seen the video, what have you noticed about it? We're not in it. That's my brother's voice on that. When they said to him, Ashley, you got to be in the video, what did he say? No. Then the second person I asked was me, and I said, no, why? It's a fear of fame. Everyone thinks that it's a fear of failure. Often it's a fear of success or fear of fame. That's what stops us. It's Amy, why? What happens if you're famous? What do you become? You become a target. It's one of the hardest things. We don't want to be targets. Yet at the same time, we say we want to be business people, we want to be big, we want to do that, we want to... You don't get to do that without becoming a target. Are you crazy? So the first thing to really, really conquer is Amy and understand that she is this old, ancient thing designed to keep us safe from saber-toothed tigers, except we don't have saber-toothed tigers. Life is pretty safe. But what we do have is presenting in front of people. Going and asking an investor for £2 million. Going on social media and sharing about your project, your idea, or your service. Going out there and saying to your friends, many of whom don't believe it's possible, just like how my dad's friends were, I'm going to have this idea, I'm going to pursue it. Fear, fear, and fear, and it's Amy. And it's important as entrepreneurs to start to park Amy to one side. Don't try and suppress her, because like I just did in at 50 seconds, you won't do. She's a part of who we are. It's the same Amy that was in my head at 15 saying, oh my God, we're trapped. What are we going to do? This is scary. We can't survive this. It's because of Amy that I got trapped. Whereas really, when I look back, my tinnitus now, I can hear it. If I was on the M25, it would be as loud as anything. I would still hear it. What started off as a single noise is now a sea of noise. But what I did when I started to learn about Amy was start to look at, well, if that's not me and that's Amy, all this time I was trapped, I didn't need to be. It's very important. So I started to lean into things like one of my biggest heroes is Beethoven. Does anyone know why? Yes. What else did he have? Beethoven was deaf and he had tinnitus, severe. When he made Ode to Joy, anyone know Ode to Joy? You must know Ode to Joy. Unofficial European anthem. Dun, 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 dun. They had to turn him around in Vienna for him to get his applause. Do you know why he didn't top himself? Because he was just like me. He always used to toy with the idea of topping himself. Can you imagine being deaf and tinnitus in those days with no technology? But he recognized that what he was doing was more important than him. Do you know when I was in the depths of despair, do you know what I used to listen to again and again? Yeah, Ode to Joy. So this guy that was born in, 1870s, whenever it was in Vienna, years later, this son of Nigerian immigrants, I kept going because of him. I want you guys to all relate to yourself like that. You can either listen to Amy and stay small and safe, and you will be safe if you want to live a safe life, or you start to think, we have what it takes to create a legacy that will reverberate through time. That's why I said about leaning into the arrogance. And I don't mean arrogance in the negative sense, but leaning into the greatness of who you are. See, my suffering taught me this, that if I can go for it, so can you guys. I want you to get how great you are. Not listening from that voice saying, yeah, right, I don't know, I haven't made the money yet. I don't know about this, my marriage is not going great, whatever it might be. But to really get, I have the ability to make a difference in millions of lives. And that's one of the biggest things about fame. And I didn't get that. I didn't get it at the time. Do you know why I got it? Really, really got it eventually? Guess what happened? You just heard his voice earlier. My brother passed away. And it's still emotional to me even thinking about it. But the gift that he gave me is this. It personified this. I've been talking about this for a long time, and then he died and it got real. None of you know how long you've got. None of you. And you've got to look at life as urgent. The other day when Justin was speaking, do you know it made me angry? Like, I mean, in a good way. Because you've got to get angry of like, I'm not doing this. When Jess is speaking, you've got to be like, oh, what is it I'm holding back? What is it Amy is holding back? Why am I not sharing? Why am I not pursuing fame? And fame in a good sense. Why am I not creating a platform for myself to make a difference? You all should be doing that with vigor. My brother didn't know he was going to go, and he went just like that. COVID took him. And he gave me the biggest gift. If he hadn't died, I would never have done The Apprentice. Because in that moment of his death, I wanted to do a couple of things. I wanted to celebrate his life, and I wanted the whole world to know him. So quickly, I had to get very known. But number two, if anyone watched the show, I created this little thing for men because I realized how vulnerable men are. In fact, November is all about men's mental health, isn't it? And I thought I couldn't save my brother, but maybe I can save someone else. And that's where it comes back to the pain juice that I talk about. It was painful my brother dying, but I used it as fuel, rage. And the rage was, how dare I get to stay small? Never. I don't care what Amy's saying. Even now, she's chatting away. I'm really tired. Are they listening? I don't give a shit. She's always going to be talking. And I can choose. Or with grace, Amy, I get it. I know you're talking. You're there to keep me safe. Thank you. But I'm here to get people to get their greatness, because that's my reason for being. That's why I didn't jump off the building. That's what I want to spend my life doing. I want people to get how great they are. And I don't care what they think about me. But even if they just remembered this, that's something. So I'm going to share with you the model that I use with my mentees. How far do I have got to go? Oh, it's just there. So this is what I created after I had my breakthroughs. Ugh. Power. How much time have I got? All good? Okay. So, P. What's the first P for, based on everything I've just said?
Presence.
Nope. Huh? Nope. Nope.
People.
Nope.
Purpose.
You said purpose. Who said purpose? Purpose. So if you look back at my story, think about all the purpose that you've heard. My dad's purpose. One day I'm going to go to London, I'm going to be rich. He had a purpose. No matter what life threw at him, his purpose was to think that was his northern star. Nothing was going to derail him from that. Because you'll get derailed. And imagine his Amy. I only lost one sibling, and that was tough. Don't know what it was like for him. Purpose. You guys have got to really, really get deep into your purpose. And I don't want you to get into your purpose with a yeah, but no, don't do that. Literally, what is it you want to do? Don't put any lid on your self-expression. What is it you want to do, and who is it you want to be? Really get into that. Can anyone share? What is it you want to do? But tell me without a lid on it. Do you know what I mean when I say without a lid on it? Don't, yeah, but, no. What do you want to be? What do you want to do?
Business coach.
How many people do you want to impact?
Pushing for skilled professional tradesmen of building their escape route.
Why?
Because I've gone through it myself. I haven't got an escape route.
And what was it like for you?
Pretty grim.
Tell me a little bit about it.
I had 120 pounds when I was 51 years old.
Pain. Even as he's talking about it, you can see the emotion in it. But get angry about it. Angry. No one's going to go through that. Who else? Go for it.
I'm an award-winning doctor that's going to save lives.
I love this, because yesterday when I spoke to you, what did you say? She was apologizing for that level of greatness. And I was like, no, you don't get to be small near me. That's what pain taught me. I will not listen to another human being as small. And I'm glad that you're saying that now. See, because Amy says that, oh, don't do that because he's going to think this. Well, I'm not quite that. Oh, I don't have the social proof. How dare I say I'm that? No, you are that. Why? Because you say you are. So you notice when you say you're something, you see it with boxers, that kind of level of arrogance. I'm the greatest. Ali is the best at that. Half of them say it before they are. They talk about it before they actually are. You want to talk about yourselves before you actually are. When you say you want to make that difference, you want to look at it like, I'm the most known person in the world for this. I've transformed the lives of millions of people. We focus too much on money, but money is just a byproduct of service. Don't talk about, I want to make this amount of money. Forget about that. I want to serve this amount of people. I know you're a billionaire at that point. Doesn't matter. But do it with, and nothing's going to get in the way of that. One more person, purpose.
Well, I've empowered people and shown that they can create a life they love living.
Why?
Because that's what I think life's about. It's about enjoying the experience.
Where does that fire come from?
Inside, I don't know.
But explain it. I want you to tap into it.
I've always believed, like I've always seen the majority of people being miserable for the majority of their life.
Why do you care? So what? Let them be miserable. Sod them.
Well, it's about me. I want that for myself, but I also enjoy helping other people to achieve that and to achieve enjoyment and love.
I would assert it's even more than enjoyment. What do you get out of it? When someone's in your, no, someone else's life. It's never have your life be about you guys, by the way. It's too small. I don't care about what you want for you. It's not important. It's too small to be, I want this for me. It's tiny. Steve Jobs didn't just want it.
I want it for everyone.
Why?
Because the world would be fucking amazing if everybody enjoyed every single
Now that's purpose. Do you see, it's never purpose if it's just about you. It's too small. Nobody cares. Imagine I'm speaking to you just about me. Just told you a bit about my background so you get to know how I got to be here. But this isn't about me. You guys really care about me? Tell the truth. Be honest.
Yes.
You don't really. You're here to grow for yourselves. And it's okay to admit that. See, if you locate your attention and intention out there with others, I promise you it'll be bigger than you can imagine. If you locate your intention, attention on yourself, you'll stay small. Don't ever make your life about yourself. Stay small and you'll be gone one day. See, Beethoven knew that his life was bigger than him. That's how he was able to reverberate through time. Steve Jobs worked on the iPhone or the iPod, whatever it was, today before he died. He wasn't going to be there to see the fruits of his labor, but it was more than him. He wanted to revolutionize and change the world. I want you to start thinking beyond you. What's the difference you want to make? And you will make it. So thank you. So you get a sense of how powerful purpose is. And I don't have that much time, and I wish I had longer. Behind purpose, you've also got to uncover what's in the way. So if I said to you now, what's in the way of you achieving that?
I get distracted.
You get distracted. Tell me more about that.
So we were going through this morning. That I can just, I've got my purpose and I've got my direction, but I can just fade away.
Why? You ever wondered why?
No, that's my issue.
That's Amy.
Yeah.
Scary what you're trying to
I
do.
agree with that.
Of course it's Amy. Have I got what it takes? Am I going to make it? Is anyone going to listen to me? I might be boring, uncharismatic. Why would I matter? It's Amy talking. We will deliberately self-sabotage. Deliberately. Even me, and I've achieved quite a lot, to be fair. But you think I've even scratched the surface of what's possible for me? Not at all. But we'll have these big, grandiose dreams and purpose, and Amy will keep us grounded. Why? Because it's not safe. Everyone who's achieved something, they've put themselves at risk. It's not safe. It's not safe to go out there and make yourself a target, become famous, become known. So purpose is important, guys. Really write this down. What's your purpose? And often a way to get to your purpose, look at your values. Like my number one value is kindness. I love it. I don't even know where it comes from, but that's my number one value. So it would be a disservice to that value for me to have gone through the shit that I've gone through and not do this. And I've always been terrified of public speaking. To some extent, I am now. I wouldn't call it terror, but I've got a baby upstairs. I haven't slept. There's 100 reasons. I've got derealization. I have rage and tinnitus. There's 100 reasons why I wouldn't be here. But the kindness thing, this purpose, this desire to unlock greatness in other people is bigger. See, values, look at your top values. That will give you a sign. Look at the pain you've gone through. I call that pain juice. I've got so much pain juice that no one in this room could stop me. Got so much pain that I've been through. I plow it all into making a difference, all into my purpose. And my purpose is simple. I believe I've been put on this planet so that people get their greatness. Like Beethoven was put on this planet to make incredible music. Think about what you were put on this planet for. Now, from a business point of view, you can look at how to monetize it. It's fine. But look, why am I here? And don't put a lid on that. Don't think you're not special. You are special. You're special. You're special. You're all special. You've already demonstrated that. Who here has not made a difference in the life of at least one person? You're all special. Every one of you has touched, moved, and inspired at least one person. I'm just asking you to do it for 1 million. That's it. It's easy. In social media, even easier. You can reach 1 billion people. So really think about your purpose. Oh, and this can be quite controversial, I don't really care. Others. The reason why I say it can be quite controversial, I spoke about it a bit yesterday. So there's different things under others. But one of them is what I call your people environment. How many people here, I imagine all of you probably in decent environments, have an environment that's really pulling for your greatness every day? Yeah? How many people have people in their lives that are kind of taking them a bit away from their purpose? Naysayers, not sure, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it could be your family members, by the way. My mum and dad did not want us making music. Why? I'm Nigerian. You have to be a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, the rest of it. The only reason why they like me making music, you know why? Can you guess? Why do you think they changed their mind? Yeah. Our first check for Bodygroove was like 250,000 or something like that. Suddenly, I always knew you were going to make it. You bloody liar. You did not want me making music at all. But you'll have people in your life, and they're not bad. In my parents' eyes, they've come here in the 1960s, they're thinking music is no pathway. They related to musicians as vagabond, vagrants. Because in Nigeria, you would never say, you're going to be rolling around the villages playing music in Nigeria. There's no market for that. People are barely eating back then. So they related to it. So you'll have people around you who are not pulling for your greatness. And you've got to think about it. Who are they? Some of them you actually like because they're in tune with who? Amy. Oh, but do you really want to do that business? The economy is hard now, inflation. You really want to invest 100 grand? Oh, I don't know. And Amy's like, yeah, you really want to? She's parroting them. But we like it. It's comfortable. Why? It means that we don't have to risk. You want to limit those people. And it sounds hard when I'm saying that. And it is a little bit. But I don't tolerate people who are not growth-minded around me. And if they're family, it's fine. I love my family. But I will limit the conversations unless we're talking about something grown. Why? Because I don't have enough time. I want people who talk about ideas. I don't want to hear about EastEnders or about the neighbour who's been shagging who, excuse my French. I'm not interested in that sort of stuff. I want to hear like, okay, I'm doing this thing. Okay, I'm going to go and speak at Justin's event. I want to just keep growing. I want to inspire people. So think, people in your life that are not congruent with your growth, you want to limit them a little bit. And you want to lean into this. Do you guys all know each other from before? Do you all have each other's numbers? What do you mean not yet? How long have you been together? 4 days and you haven't got your numbers? It's like SAS training. These people are in the trenches with you.
We're in a WhatsApp group. So.
Good, but lean into each other. Because another part of others is your network. I always say that when I go into rooms full of self-development, everything you need is in this room. One person's going to have one person who who gives you that £1 million funding. Someone else is going to have the strength to get you through hard times. Someone else, like everything you need is in here. But Amy often will stop you doing it. Oh, yeah, I don't know. This person's different. Or, oh, I don't know what they're going to think. No, don't do that. When you're around other people who have growth mindsets, collect their numbers. How did you find it? What are you struggling with? How can we support each other? What can we do? Lean into that. Because the other version is too easy. The world out there is cynical. Especially over here in the UK, it's quite a cynical time. I'm on news every single week and it drains me sometimes. Because you think this world is full of doom and gloom, but it isn't. Great things are happening every single day. So think about this. Who are your mentors? Who's your environment? Who's uplifting you? Who's dragging you down? This one, next one, you've done it this morning, I think. Wellness. That's your core, your center. Mind, body, soul. Write that down. I'm not going to go too much into body. We're all aware about keeping ourselves as healthy as possible. It's so important. the soul or the spiritual side of me. I'm not going to talk too much about that either. But I will talk about mindset a little bit. So Amy is just one aspect of mindset. But I want you to think of other things like the imposter syndrome, which again is related to Amy. How many people have imposter syndrome or have had imposter syndrome? How's it impacted you?
Hold you back.
How?
We've probably not got the confidence to seize an opportunity, maybe.
Why'd you say we? Do you know why you say that? Exactly. Because it's very hard to just be vulnerable and say, I haven't had that. When we say we, it softens the blow. You got to get in the trenches with yourself. I. It's not a we thing, it's I. It's impacted you. Notice your language. When we're speaking, what did I say to you all the time? Your language. I'm noticing how she makes herself smaller, harder than she does. That's crazy, which means I'm standing harder for her greatness than she does. Say I, because you have to get present to the impact of it. How does it make you feel?
That you're missing out on opportunities, maybe.
So how does it make you feel as a result of that?
That you could be doing better. That you're holding yourself back.
And what's the emotion?
The emotion. Good question.
Right, ignore Amy. Ignore getting it right and all that other shit that's probably going through your head. Just get present to the emotion for yourself. Don't worry about anyone thinks. Everyone's thinking about themselves right now. What's the emotion of that you've missed opportunities and you've listened to that voice in your head?
Struggling. Sorry.
It's fine. I would have said one of the emotions, if you're driven, is a bit of like rage, a bit of anger. Wow. There is a bit of that.
Yeah.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
You got to be angry. A little bit. How dare I let myself down? Because if it was your best friend, you would be like that. Mate, you're great. What's going on? What do you mean you're like, come on. You want to be like that about yourselves. Don't relate to yourself as small. Because if you do, the world does. And I would say this is an act of supreme selfishness. Selfishness that you don't get your greatness. And I know we spoke about this yesterday, but what do I mean when I say selfish?
Denying your gift, right?
Yeah, but again, it's about you. Every time I'm speaking, what's bigger than you? There you go. There you go. So when you guys play small and you listen to the imposter syndrome, other people don't get to be big because you're not being big. It's selfish. Imagine Beethoven did top himself. Who would I have had to have got through my hard times with tinnitus? Listen to Ode to Joy religiously, crying, and it kept me going. That's you. Every time you don't honor your greatness is an act of selfishness because other people don't get to be great. There'll be someone whose life you're going to impact, and if you're small, you won't show up. That's one of the beauties about fame and being seen. The world needs you guys right now. Because if you don't do it, the people who don't care about other people will. There are a lot of people who want the world to be different. And they're the ones that are getting all the fame right now. And a lot of people that want to make a difference do that. They put a lid on their self-expression. It is selfish. It's crazy to say that though, isn't it? Like it's selfish that you're not being great. Because we think it's just me, it only impacts me. It doesn't. Tell me some heroes in here. Who's your hero? Anyone that's got a hero, someone that you admire.
Leonardo da Vinci,
Why?
because he was so creative in so many ways and he wasn't scared of taking risks and he could really manipulate people.
Now think about that. Going all the way back to Renaissance period, right? Is he still alive?
Yes, in my heart.
I love that she said that.
And on the wall.
Do you understand that? If he had not leaned into that, you would never have known him. It would have been selfish because he would not have got to inspire you 300 years after he's gone. Tell me your heroes. Any other heroes? Shout them out.
John Wayne.
Who?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. Why? That's an interesting one, John Wayne.
Just grew up watching him and I really liked
What was it about him that you liked?
his presence.
What was it about his presence?
He was very confident.
Confidence.
He didn't take any shit.
And you think about it, John Wayne in today's world might be considered to be a bit toxic masculinity a little bit.
Yeah.
But what are we dealing with now in this world, especially when it comes to men, young men?
Confusion.
Men are in trouble, especially young boys. Directionless, 3 times more likely to kill themselves. They need that. Do you imagine if you didn't have it, how selfish that would be? See, now as I'm saying that, I hope you guys are starting to see that you matter. Your voices matter. It's not about Tre or Jessen and these guys are charismatic, blah, blah, blah. I was like you guys. I was surviving by knowing I could jump off a building. I wouldn't be like this in front of you guys. I'm only like this because my sense of purpose and service, and I've looked at the people around me and I've worked on my mindset that I've been able to be this way. I wasn't born this way. I went through shit. I became this way. There's nothing special about me. But one day I hope to be John Wayne or Leonardo da Vinci for someone. You are too. So E, I might spell this wrong, guys, but anyway, whatever. This is a hard one, execution, because you could have the purpose, you've got a sense of the other people around you, you've got mentors, you've cleaned out the people who are naysayers, others you're thinking about who you're going to serve, your wellness is great, your mindset, you've worked on it, you've worked on your body, your spirit, everything's great. But when it comes to execution, that's a hard one. Amy is loudest when it comes to that. My God, who here has failed to execute on something very important? Bloody hell, every day, right? That's when you've got to think of your structures, your habits, your systems, things that you shouldn't be doing yourself. That's a big one. How many people try and do everything themselves? Come on. And why do you try and do everything yourself? Don't want to rely on other people. Anything else? Lack of trust. What else?
Money to do it.
Cost money. That's one of the biggest ones. Do you know you don't need to always pay people to do stuff? How can you do stuff without paying? Who? Okay, barter's one. Okay, what else?
Mental and,
Yeah.
what do you call it? To go into an office or whatever to get the experience.
So one of the best ways to do it is become the kind of person that people want to be around. Don't pay me. I just want to be near you. Everyone has that ability. Don't get stuck by that sort of stuff because you'll fail to execute and nothing matters. Really lean into how do I execute this dream, this purpose? And let me think out of the box. And let me come from greatness, not from Amy limitations. How can I do it? I need a team. Great. Guys, I can't pay you yet because I'm a startup. But I want to teach you everything I know that's more valuable than anything. Half the stuff I learned in school, and I'm a nerd. I don't care about half of it. How many wives Henry VIII had and all that. But if I've got a chance to work around someone that could give me real world skills, I'm jumping at that. Really think about your team. Create a team now. Don't be a solopreneur forever. Because one thing that will get you as well is perfectionism. Body Groove almost never came out because my brother was a perfectionist. It's only looking back that I realized that he was scared. He was fearful of fame. And he used no, but the snare's not right, the kick's not right, to try and get away from Body Groove could be a big success. You know, he was terrified of it being a success. And his worst nightmare happened, it was a success. Do you know my brother never recovered? That's partly what led to him dying. The success of Body Groove and some of the trauma around the interpersonal issues with it meant that he started to get less and less interested in life. There was a time, I don't mind saying this on camera, that we had to almost knock his door down because he was unavailable. We thought he topped himself in his house. This was during the height of our success. But he just got to the point that he hated success so much, he'd rather stay in and smoke. He hated it. And he just felt, we got to do Navapress. This is some people's dreams. He hated it. Hated it. Really think about these themes. They're so important. Things will come and get you, and Amy will get sneakier and sneakier and sneakier. The more you grow, the more you execute. She'll find ways, shit. Why? What does she care about? One thing. Safety and survival. And the more you advance, the more advanced she becomes. Okay, the normal way doesn't get them. How else can I do it? I know, procrastinate. Perfectionism. I don't have anyone to help me. I don't have the money. Get your execution. And then the last R is results. With a nail tray, that would help. You've got to keep looking at your results. What's working, what's not working. Keep evaluating your results. Keep growing. Don't be someone that rests on your laurels. To a certain extent, we did that. Had this big record, and then suddenly we just chilled. Brother hated fame. I was sick, obviously, as you know, so I wasn't that bothered. And the music business, once you have success, it can be a nightmare. Because everyone's waiting for the next hit. You've got all this money. Money takes away a lot of people's motivations. You've got to have an attitude of results where you're constantly evaluating based on. So it comes back full circle again. Am I in alignment? Am I growing? Am I doing everything? Am I doing this? Okay, great. In our case, you got one hit record, but who are your heroes? My heroes were the Beatles, Queen. They didn't have one hit record. They had hit albums again and again and again and again and again. And I'm not saying that to poo on what we did. I still achieved the dream as a kid, but based on what was possible for me, small, tiny. So resilience is a theme in everything I've been saying, but there's another theme in there as well. What is that? Yeah, determination is one. So resilience has been a theme in everything I'm saying. There are some other themes in there because I want to check that you guys are really getting the power of power. Yeah, faith is one, yeah. Yeah. There's another big one there. Reinvention. Who here is pivoting from one career to another? How do you relate to it?
Slightly different than I'm in a career that I'm willing to change, but I haven't figured out my purpose, which is part of the reason I could.
By the way, just as a thing, you actually don't have to figure out your purpose in order to start. Sometimes it comes in the doing, not in the knowing. That's Amy's other clever way of doing it. Oh no, if I haven't figured it out, I can't do it yet. Amy's very clever. Because you'll take how long to figure it out? I could figure it out with you right now. In fact, let's do it. What is it you're trying to figure out?
I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I do.
It's true though. No matter how old we get, we do think that.
Yeah. I'm really good when I have a goal. Like I am so driven, so focused. I learned to in my 30s. I got my honours degree in my 40s. When I know what I want, I absolutely smash it out of the park. I don't know what I want right now.
Do you know who you want to serve?
I'm so blocked on it.
Now, is that true, or is that something that you're certain?
I really struggle with this one.
Struggle is okay, but blocked is different. Who's the last person whose life you impacted?
My little sister.
How?
Because I take her places and we do nice things. She lives back in Ireland, and she's my reason that I want to have time and financial freedom, so I can do more of that stuff with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is it that you've impacted her? You're making your time available. She's having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an example of something that you can do. How could you monetize that?
Well, this is what we're coming back to, that monetizing. So I recently put my story into a charity book,
Mhm.
and I've just come back and I was in America with that book and raised loads of money. And actually, quite a few people, talking about impact, I guess people have come to me and said the book's really helped them, the chapter in the book's really helped them. So there's maybe something.
But see, notice how you talk about that. You're not talking about it with Tre. Let me tell you, I wrote this book and it's impacted people's lives. This is what they've said.
The chapter. See, I dumb it down. I did.
Yeah, but see, you're doing that. Leave me with a book.
That's what I mean, I do.
Do you see how easy Amy works?
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a British thing, because if I was with Americans, they're a little bit more brash about it. But we will put a lid. So you're almost training me to relate to you how? Small. You're training me.
That's what I do. I absolutely play small, dim my light.
Guys, this is I thank you, by the way, for demonstrating this, because we all do it. She's training me to treat her small. And then when people treat you small, you're like, why is no one taking me seriously? You just trained them. You said, oh, chapter, you should have just left me with a book. Why would you do that? So you're not blocked. Amy's just working with you really hard. So you think you are. You could start anything you wanted to. Now, it might fail. That's different. We all try and avoid that failure. But you could do that. Just notice that. Notice the language. And it's so important. That's why the mindset's important. What do you say about yourself? Why do you say that about yourself? Why do you speak small about yourself? What are you protecting? Who's convinced you you're small? If I had more time, if Jess gave me time, I'd go back to that. Most of it starts when we're young. Got a bit of time? I know, I've got the wife that might be calling me. I'll give you an example of something, right? I'm the youngest in a family of 6. So I just want to see if it might resonate with you. Just look for the learning, right? A family of 6, and in a Nigerian family, it's very hierarchical in terms of age. Very deferential. So even though I was smarter, in my opinion, than my brothers and sisters, I had to defer to them. So I always grew up with this sense of my voice is suppressed and I'm not heard. Do you know how much that really impacted me? So for a long time, I had this real desire to be heard and be seen as cool and be liked. I could never have done this because I'd be terrified. They may not like you, Tre. Everyone has something from their childhood, something that you've inherited that keeps you small. And when you're discovering your purpose, you cover this, don't you? Start to look at what are the things that you've inherited from childhood that keeps you small. And there'll be something you would have done, and your parents, because normally it's your primary caregivers, will say something you think, because we want to impress them. It's linked to survival. No, what's that? You did that wrong. I remember once we had the spelling competition in our school, and we were spelling the word library. I'll never forget this. And I was very clever. Nigerians, you're beaten, literally. Education is beaten into us at that age, right? And my classmates saying, go to the front, you can spell it. And I went to the front of the whole school. I was a primary school, so we had up to year 4. And I spelt it, and I turned around thinking, yeah, everyone's going to think I'm so great. And the head teacher said, sit down, you got it wrong. Do you know I made a decision in that moment? What was my decision? Never to speak again. We all do that. It took me years of self-development. And when I first started to speak, I thought, oh, I've done body groove. I can just be cool, and they're going to think I'm cool. And I learned, nobody gives a shit about you, Tre. Imagine I was here in front of you just being cool. I'm so cool, and I did this. Let me tell you more about it. What would you guys think? Who's this prick? But we do that because Amy's thinking, just play the game because you remember when you were that age and you got it wrong and everyone laughed at you. Don't make them laugh at you again. So you do this performance as opposed to being authentic. And that's a big part of purpose is being authentic. When you're authentic, you don't care about what people think about you. They probably won't all like you. It's okay. But this is my authentic self-expression. It has integrity. I don't have to think. I didn't come up here with notes like what you've said the other day. When you're coming from authenticity, I don't have to think about what I'm saying to you. It's just natural. I'm not thinking, not getting anything out of it. I'm just here that you guys get your greatness. And you might only remember one thing, and it might just be that image. And there's a reason why I use toothpaste. Why? Everybody bloody uses it. I hope so. If not, don't get close to them. When you're squeezing this out in the morning, just think about it. Am I doing that with my life today? Right, I want to go into the fame stuff. Jess, you want to do some Q&As? Because I really want them now that they've got this to get a real sense of what's in the way now of you stepping into fame.
Any questions, just fire them at Tre. They did want to learn a bit more about media.
Good, great,
So
right?
if you've got questions-
I'm just going to talk, so it might answer some of your questions, right? So after my brother passed away and I felt that rage of, I don't know how long I've got, but I'm not going to be someone that doesn't squeeze everything out. And I want everyone to know about him, how great he was. I decided, I'm a very much, I don't know who here is a believer in manifestation. Anyone here believes in manifestation? Oh God, I can manifest like her. And I manifested, I'm going to get an opportunity to get a bigger voice. I don't know what it is, but when it comes, it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's a way of knowing if you're on the right path. You better be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, whatever you're doing is probably not your thing. You've got to be uncomfortable or on the edges of it. Why? The more uncomfortable we come, what do we grow? Our comfort zone. But you've always got to be the edges. If you're in the middle of your comfort zone, you are stagnating. You've got to always be uncomfortable. What am I doing that's uncomfortable? What's stretching? So my wife then applied for The Apprentice. And in that moment, I was like, that's it. That's your manifestation. Something is saying to me, you need to go and audition. And the reason why I didn't want to was one reason why. What was Amy saying? Not necessarily not good enough. No, the opposite was true. I thought I'd be more than good enough. What was the one fear that I still had from Body Groove why I wasn't in the videos? Fame. It's one thing doing a hit record, but it's another thing going on reality TV. What? This is Amy, right? What if you come out first? What if people laugh at you? What if you look stupid? You're a musician going on a business show. This is the BBC Tre. 8 million people are watching each week. If you fail, it's going to be spectacular. People in the music industry is going to laugh because for them, they would never go on reality TV. My God, Amy was on loudspeaker. But I said, don't care. So, purpose was part of it. I was afraid. This was in honor of my brother. I had the rage, the pain juice. And so I went. And the minute I sat there, and the producer told me a year after that, Tre, when you sat there, we punched the air. How the hell did we get someone who did Body Groove come into audition? It never happened in the history of The Apprentice. So I want you to think about that. Maybe you could apply for a show. See, if you want to get eyeballs and you want to do it away from social media where you're competing against billions of people, think about that. What program or what thing in your industry exists? You're a doctor. There'll be certain things that you might be able to do. There'll be certain ideas that you might have that you could pitch. People think that the BBC is this rarefied thing and it's impossible to get there. Do you know they're always desperate for ideas? Desperate. You're in the trade. What trade is it? Huh? Fire protection. Do you know that there's shows that will be interested in that? Or there's producers that will be interested in some sort of concept? You want to think about that. Either audition for a show. I mean, who here likes Traitors, for instance? I would love to be in Traitors. Would any of you ever go on a show like that? Would you? Traitors on the BBC. You've never watched it? Think about what I've done. Why would you not audition for a show? What would it give you if you did and you were on there? What would it give you? What would it give you? Attention. Eyeballs. So that's one thing to really think about. What could I get on that would give me eyeballs? Another thing to do, which I do all the time, is I get called all the time by producers to appear on Good Morning or BBC Breakfast or before I became a panelist, GB News, all the rest of it. How many of you are experts in your field? Have you ever been on TV? You have? Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we heard this story last night.
Oh, Crime Watch or something.
The dating program, did a date. Somewhere on that. It was pretty good, like. Went on 3 dates.
Good, I'm glad you did. We had actually, Cece was on our program. Cece's on Dinner Dates. She's one of the waitresses, blonde.
No, you won't think the first date.
Oh, first dates.
Yeah.
What's Dinner Dates then?
Dinner dates where
Oh,
you
when
go-
you make the meal.
They make the meal. Yeah.
Oh God, even better. I like that program. But see, did you leverage that in any way, shape, form? And by that I mean this. Huh?
I tried to plug the company when we're there, and they wouldn't let us do it.
Not necessarily plugging your company here because they won't let you do that. But I mean, did you, just like I said to you about you lot keeping in touch, do you know any of the producers? Kept in touch with them?
No.
Why? You didn't think about that, did you? You got to think about that. See, one of the hardest things to do is like cold call up the BBC and all the rest of it and try and get in there. But if you already know the producer, I've got this idea. Or I want to come onto the news and talk about, because the thing about broadcasting, you can't go on there and just advertise. So how do you get around that? Yes. So you mentioned, for instance, in our company, we talk a lot about fire safety and blah, 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 blah. You don't have to say, by the way, the number is 0800, da, da, da. You just talk about it. You give value. But think about that. You guys are experts in your field. A place to go is to call up producers or find someone just as connected to how many people on TV, or he's connected to me. Right, Trey, if they call you up again to come on and debate, the last debate I did was about talking about, what was it about? God, I'm trying to remember what it was. About whether they should ban tipping. That had 1.2 million views when it was repurposed. So think you're already an expert. Get on Twitter, one of the best places probably to go. Find out who are the producers on whatever show it might be, Good Morning Britain. Hi, I want to go on and talk about this. Or this is big in the news this week. Who here is an accountant or anything like that? Anything in finances? Anyone? So what's one of the biggest things happening right now when it comes to sort of finances in terms of the nation?
Trying to predict the budget.
Exactly. It's likely that our good chancellor is going to have to do what? Raise taxes, which they said they wouldn't do. So you can make yourself available for that. I want to comment on that. Here's my credentials. And that's why I say don't put a lid in your self-expression. You've got to be big. Look, listen, I'm an expert on this thing. I really want to talk about it. I thought about it from this angle. Then do it again next week. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Say, oh, God, this woman again. You know what? Call her. Because most of us don't do that. We don't make requests. How many of us are afraid here of making requests to people? We are. We're afraid of it. So that's one thing to do. Either go on a show, if you can, and leverage every bit of it. Get to know the producers or come across in such a way that they think, you know, this person might be quite cool. Really use it. But not in a cheesy, I want to be famous way, but I want to be of service. I want to give back, give value. Or you're an expert in your field, find a producer of a show. You only want to get on the BBC or something once. Why? Because it gives you what? It gives you a level of status. Why? Because everyone's got social media. If I go on your social media, of course you're going to give it the big one. But if I know you're on BBC News, those guys won't put you on there unless you've got something about you. And if you're terrible, you'll never go on there again. And I can then Google, you were just talking about that, right? I can then Google, oh wow, BBC. You've got to think about that. Do everything you can. Find out who even is the bloody cleaner in the studio and make friends with them. But think about it that way. I want to be known. I want to be known. I want to be seen. Okay? Any other questions? Every hand should go up, guys. Whatever Amy's saying, stop it. I don't really care how ridiculous you think you might sound. I don't care. But come on, questions. Question.
I've got one, but it's
Go for it.
How much royalties are you still getting?
Have a what?
I said, how much royalties are you still
That's a fair question. Probably about 60,000 a year, say. Yeah. And it's a good question, right? Because how many people here wrote books? Anyone that author in here? 1, 2 authors. Anyone else? Why are you not all authors? You just said you were experts in your field. You're being stingy. If you were to write a book, what would you write a book on? Why? Why have you not wrote the book? Exactly. How can you not never think about it? The first thing you said was my life, which means you think your life is interesting. It will make a difference to other people. But again, you're being selfish and stingy. When are you going to write that book? Soon is not good enough. By when?
Next summer.
Okay, I'll just about take that. Huh? Oh, really? But again, why are books important? Yes. Yes. So you guys want to become authorities in your industry. If you're going to become an authority, be an author. Everyone should write a book. It's so easy now. If you were to write a book, what would it be on? What is it about your life?
Just like what happened and things.
But what difference would it make to others? Bear in mind, our intention and attention is always about others. How do you think it would impact the lives of other people?
Impact other people. Just give them like hope and
Hope.
motivated.
Hope. And there'll be people that you'll touch that will never listen to me. They won't be able to relate to me and how they relate to you. Think about writing a book, guys. I mean, it's easier to write a book now than ever before. You should be on your 2nd or 3rd book. What would you write a book on?
Well, it just made me think. You're saying write a book about your life. I've had a fantastic life. So many shit thrown at me, I can't tell you.
Don't talk about Harold.
How can that affect my business?
Because your book will showcase who you are as a founder, and there'll be things in there that will help other people, including people in your business.
Okay.
See, we're now in the age where people are going to know who the founders are. One of the reasons why I went onto The Apprentice, because I love Lord Sugar. In my days, it was literally Lord Sugar and Richard Branson. Yeah, I know now that we can name 10, maybe 20 entrepreneurs. 10 years from now, we can name thousands, because people are going to start buying from people who they and know.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like someone like Elon Musk, probably one of the most famous, and that sold a lot of cars until people didn't like his politics, and that lost him a lot. That's the risk in there. But people are going to start buying from who they know. If you've got 2 people in the same industry, one, I know his book, he's been on TV, I've seen him, I see some of his stories, I hear him share, who am I going to buy from? You're getting to the point that you guys don't have a choice as entrepreneurs. If you want to be known, you want to be seen, you want to be related to, you want to be trusted, you're getting to the point if you've got no choice. Because almost everyone can replicate pretty much what everyone else is doing. The only differentiator will be who? The founder. And there's no point, you go onto these websites and they talk about their values on their business. They're just words now. Because now I can Google and see, I can see that how they live and who they are is congruent with their business. You can't hide anymore. You have some big companies that talk about this and that and diversity, and you look, you're thinking, it's bullshit. Then you have someone else, the founder thinking, this is congruent. You're going for that. You're getting to the point that you don't have any choice. You're going to have to be known. You're going to have to be seen. And if you're not, you better get a CEO or someone that's going to be the face of it then. The guy that won The Apprentice this year, Dean, I believe his name is, and he is in air conditioning. His sales apparently have gone through the roof. Through the roof. Would never have happened if he wasn't on The Apprentice. Because not only do we now hear about his business, we get to see him. He's a family man. You want to be part of his success. Even someone like Kim Kardashian, whether you love her or not, that family are probably one of the best at leveraging their own personal brands. You've really, really got to think about it. How can I be seen? I'm going to do whatever it takes to be known, to be seen. And Amy's going to be having a field day. But I tell you this, the stronger you get, the quieter she gets. She will actually, if you do it enough, just so you can probably attest to this, what happens is she flips. From becoming your biggest, oh, I don't know, it's dangerous to, no, you could do more. Isn't it? Your voice is what it says. That's what my voice is saying. It will flip. She'll be like, oh, this person means it. She doesn't trust you. When she does, she's like, what do you mean? Go back and do it again. Go back and ask for that business. Go back and talk to that same producer again. You'll flip her. She'll become your biggest asset. But you need a repetition. Skinny branches, skinny branches, skinny branches, discomfort again and again. And she knows, it's so safe. Now it's become unsafe for me to not play full out. That's what she'll get afraid of. We might run out of time, which is why Steve Jobs was working on the phone before he died. Because Amy's thinking, I've run out of time. This pancreatic cancer has got us. Quickly. You were going to say?
What was the path that got you onto JBN, and also what's your next
Great
target?
question. Great question.
What's your next target for your next bigger platform?
Great question. Sorry, just one sec. That's the wife. Have I gone over time?
Yeah.
Borderline. Okay, 5 minutes. I'll land my plane, as they used to say on Clubhouse, right? So what got me on GB News was the birth of my son. Again, purpose. Why? Because I can see the direction the country's going in, and I want to have a say about that. Never be afraid to see how big you potentially are. It's kind of arrogant, isn't it? So Trey, you think you're going to go on there and direct the direction of the country? Who do you think you are? They said the same thing to my dad. Who do you think you are? And they beat him for it. I am who I say I am. And that's that. And I said, guys, I'll come in there, but I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about because it leans very right. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just does. I'm not one of these people that wants to cancel anyone for their opinion, but I want to challenge that opinion. But I also want to shine a light on aspects of people's views that other people deem problematic, because that's one of the problems, I think. Not going too much into politics, but people have ignored too many parts of the country for too long. And you shouldn't do that. It's not racist that someone wants to fly a flag, for instance. They should have absolute pride in that. So I wanted to be part of that conversation. That's why I went. And other people, just like before I went on to The Apprentice, Trey, what if you come out last? Or Amy's thinking, Trey, what if you start being seen as towards the right? You know, it's a kiss of death. If you want to be a broadcaster in this country. You know, another famous person on the same show as me, Katie Hopkins. Everyone knows who Katie Hopkins is? She can never go on mainstream shows. But fair play to her. She's chosen her path. So I'm thinking, Trey, people are going to just think, you're on GB News and blah. I mean, Thomas Skinner, if anyone doesn't know who that is dealing with it now. He's on Strictly Come Dancing. And everyone's saying, he's a right-wing grifter, blah, blah, blah. I think it's sad because I'm a libertarian at heart. I don't think anyone should be cancelled. I really believe in freedom of speech. Even if I don't like what you say, I'll defend to death your right to say it. Voltaire, right, said that. So that's why I went on there. I want to have a say in my son's future. I want to have these debates. I want to look at what's happening. I have the audacity to think that I can change his future, where people do come together, all the different myriad of colours that make up this great nation. I want to be part of that. That's why I went on there. Why? Because my vision's always big. How did I know it was the right thing to do? It's a bit terrifying. It's a bit scary to go on a show, knowing that one thing you say could get you cancelled, which means all the good work you've done to that point could go in a moment. Bring it on. Hit body groove. Bring it on. As simple as that. My thing is legacy. I want to create a legacy that reverberates through time. And that's not an arrogant thing. Arrogance would be if it was just about me. But I want to do it like Beethoven did. Simple as that. Think about that for yourselves. And you could go on the news and be a panelist. They're always looking for people. Don't think I'm special or I'm different. You guys are too. Make some calls. Hi, I see that you've got a show about this. I want to make an opinion. And then start creating your own opinions online. Be known as something. Be known for something.
Yeah. The symptoms that you suffered with in the start.
Yep.
How did you get rid of them?
Using this.
Using this,
Yeah. So I didn't get rid of them. And it's a good question, actually, because I may have not covered that fully, right? So I had 3 distinct conditions. Let me see if you guys have been listening. What were they?
Brain disassociation.
Yeah, yeah.
Pressure on the
God, you guys are listening. I love that. So I only got rid of one of them. Which one was it? No, I still have that. No, I have that. Yeah, the pressure. So I didn't get rid of it. I reframed it. Does anyone, you all understand what I mean by say reframe something? So before, tinnitus occurred as what? No, how did it occur for me in terms of how I related to it? Fear and terror, problem. I don't want it. I hate it. And then I thought, wait a second, Trey. If you were living by a waterfall, you wouldn't relate to that continuous sound as a problem, would you? So reframe it. Okay, it's tinnitus. You're intelligent enough to understand where it comes from. Somehow you've damaged your cochlea in some way, shape, form. And your auditory part of your brain is now creating these phantom noises. Okay, is it going to kill you? No. Does it mean you're going to go deaf? No. Is it really a threat? No. What are you doing? I'm listening to Amy too much. Okay, don't. Reframe it. What else could you make it mean? Suffering comes from what we make it mean. Any situation. My brother could have died. I could have made it mean, oh, poor me, I'm never going to come out my house again. Or I made it mean, I'm going to go out there and do something to honor him. That suffering is a choice. And that might be triggering for people, but I don't care. It's true. To suffer is to choose to suffer. It's like suffering because the weather it is. I can't change it. I can't get rid of my tinnitus, so I can reframe it, but I can't get rid of it. And I do this talk for RNID. I'm an ambassador for Royal National Institute for the Deaf. And there are people with tinnitus with what I had when I first started. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Ines is calling me. I just might have to take it. Sorry. Darling? I'm still here talking. Sorry.
He's finishing now.
Yeah. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm finished, yeah? All right. Nice, she's got the little one. See, you got to deal with real life. But suffering comes from what you make it mean. So I didn't get rid of it. I reframed it. So the same thing could be happening in your life. There are things happening that might be causing you to suffer. Reframe it. For me now, my tinnitus is super loud. It hasn't left me no time speaking to you. You know what it sounds like? Go on, Trey. No. Seriously. This used to be, I'm going to top myself. That was the meaning I gave it. I can't cope with this tinnitus. Ringing in the ears. I'm going to go deaf. I'm not going to cope. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a disaster. Like, Trey, that ringing is a reminder that you're out there to make a difference. I just reframed it.
Constant round of applause.
Yeah, it is. Almost, yeah. The derealization's the same. I feel like I'm dreaming talking to you. On top of being tired being a dad. So what? Reframe it. It's reframed as a challenge. So I've got the challenge of going into a room full of very accomplished people and holding their attention for that long. It's now a challenge. I'm going to do it without sleep and derealization. And tell it's great. Bring it on. It's there all the time. Since the age of 15, I've never not had these 2 symptoms. So the third one went in about 2008-ish. But these other 2, I've had it since 15 years old. It's 35 years. And for half of that time, I coped with it by wanting to jump off a building. Think about the level of reframe. Now it's a reminder that my purpose is that you guys get your greatness. Just think about it. The exact same symptoms, I just changed the way I relate to them. And you have to do it in business all the time. What do you do when we're all in property in my family. Interest rates go through the roof. What do you do? Oh my God, we're going to have to sell. It's going to be a nightmare. Or maybe an opportunity. Other landlords are going to sell. Maybe we can get those. You're all going to be challenged. Like the weather. We can't have choice about it. But you have choice about how you relate to it. So think about how you're relating to stuff. How do you relate to Amy? How do you relate to opportunities? How do you relate to people, customers who want their money back? How do you relate to that self-doubt? How do you relate to that talk? Reframe it. This is a challenge. I love a good challenge. If I said to any of you, like, come to the front and just share a bit about yourself, is it daunting for anyone? Huh? It's daunting for you. See, why? Amy. But what else could you lean into? No, on the positive side of it. You just said to me you'd write a book about your bloody life, which means there's stuff that you can impart to us that would make a difference. And the suffering me, if I'd been here when I was younger, what you would have said in your talk could have saved my life. So you can choose, Amy, purpose. Fear, love. That's what it is a symptom of, isn't it? It's easy to listen to Amy and it's comfortable. God, I had to get for myself, wow, for lots of my life, I loved the fact that I was unwell. Do you know how hard that was for me to swallow that pill? I loved it. I had the perfect excuse in life. Oh, no, but I've got derealization. But how many other people know you've got ailments? And they all use it as a reason. Oh, but let me tell you. And they'll go, okay, well, it's fine. I had the perfect excuse. Why? Because Amy and my conditions were in alignment. I don't have to try. Until I got to the point now I'm angry. That's what I mean about getting angry. You got to get upset at the fact that you're selling out on yourself and you're playing small. Because you then don't get to impact people. And if you lean into it hard enough, you'll come here and take my virtual mic and you'll talk. Why? Because you don't care what people think of you. You care about the difference you want to make. That's what will lead you. It's just a choice. Listen to Amy and yeah, bullshit. Or listen to this is the purpose, because this could be my last day. If this was your last day on earth, would you do it? But it is. It is. My brother didn't get to live beyond 49. I mean, I hope all of you guys do, don't get me wrong, that's fine. But you want to relate to life, that urgency, this is my last day, because then you'll live like this. Right, that's all I'm going to say. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Love you, man. You smashed it. Absolutely
cheers,
smashed it. So, beautiful people, Tre's obviously, I know you got to bounce, but
Yeah,
you're
I've
more
got
than
to
welcome
rush.
to join us for lunch. But would you, if does anyone want to take a photo of Tre? Yeah. Oh, look, there we go.
Oh,
You're your fan club.
my old ego self would love that. Like, yes.
Well, look, no. Own it. It's not every day you get to take a picture with a BBC Apprentice finalist and a fucking icon of UK garage in the UK. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Okay, so it's not every day you get to do that. So what we're gonna do is out there.
Okay,
guys,
cool.